So first thing we're going to start off with is the statement making money online is easy. Obviously, that's a statement meant to catch your attention, but there is some truth to it, a lot of truth, to be honest with you, because everyone here on the sofa, we've all made money online, and it's our full-time income, and it's because one thing, right, we learn a skill, and that skill just transpires into a lifestyle. And naturally, when you're doing it for so much, you get good at it, you start to have more ideas, you start to think bigger, and with that attraction, you get opportunities, you meet people, and your skill becomes an asset, and that asset becomes a business. And then money starts to come in. So let's go back in time, boys, and not back in time, let's go to the future. Let's say we lose it all tomorrow. What are we going to do to make money online to prove that's easy? Hallelujah, locked in, man.
That was a cold intro.
Sorry, that was a cold intro. I mean, the key word there is skill, right? You have to learn a skill. A great saying that I heard before, actually, I don't know if it was Max Wyatt, he told me, he was just like, think about it like this, someone has a problem, you have the skill to solve their problem, they're paid for that skill. At a real basic format, that's all it is really, yeah. And a lot of online businesses.
That's what I was.
Was that his one? No way.
It's comfortable.
So, you want mine as well, bro? So yeah, a basic format, that's what it is. Like, if I was about to start again, I'd learn a skill.
Yeah.
That would be my first step. And once I realise that, which we're telling you right now, that is the first step, I then figure out what skill do I want to learn, what skill am I passionate about. And in my opinion, I'd like to hear your boys' opinion, I think you should try multiple skills. I think it's good to, hey, look, if you land on one and you absolutely love it first try, absolutely fine. But I do think it's also good to try multiple skills to see what is out there as well.
I think it's like, I like to think of it as exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Before I got into sales, I tried marketing, I tried website design, I tried Facebook ads, method stuff, and sales was integrated into all of it. But I always look back on my journey, and I do just think that it was a game of figure out a skill, but also try as many things as possible, and sort of see which one gained the most traction over a certain period of time. That was big for me, was just trying a lot.
Yeah, mine's the opposite, because I literally went from just sixth form, working a part-time job, straight into sales. I literally didn't have to try anything else. Obviously, you do sales, you do things within sales when you're trying, and then you're building different stuff, but I literally didn't have to try anything else, which is not normal, but like Adam said, if that happens to you,
It's a blessing.
it's a blessing. If it doesn't happen,
It's not a blessing.
it's still a blessing, because you get to learn different things. I'm now later on I have to see what other things maybe are out there for me, because all I know is sales at the moment. And I mean, you doing other things, you still make websites and shit, you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to touch on. That's what a lot of people would look at, like you, Bobby, and be like, oh, you're so blessed, like, I'm still out here. They might have figured out the first step of learning a skill, right? But then they're like, they see you, right, getting that skill straight away, and all of a sudden running all the way with it. They might be like, oh, you're so blessed, da, da, da. But they don't realise what they're doing now will benefit them in the future. Prime example, George, right? George built our website. Do you know what I mean? And so these skills, even if you're not directly liking them at the time, or not going to use them at the time, they will benefit you some point in the future. So that's why I say it's also good to try loads of skills as well, because also in retrospect, if that's the right word, you could then be doing catch up later down the line, because at some point Bobby, might have to build a website. I mean, you probably pay someone now anyway, but I'm saying at some point you might have to overcome that skill anyway, so you're going to have to relearn it at some point anyway. Do you know what I mean? That's how I kind of look at it. So it's good to just try them all early days.
100%. But yeah, going back to the point of this video, why making money online is easy. I think we'll all say our own personal reasons, and I'll start off with it, is because everyone is online, more and more people are going to be online, and everyone wants to have some sort of income that is coming from their brand, their identity, their influence. That is where the world is going, right? Online businesses is just the future. And with online business, it's very, very easy to have growth quick. And just like in a couple of months, you have a whole operation. And because your business is completely online, you're not going to be hiring people in person. You're going to be hiring people online. So naturally, the bigger the business grows, the more people they are going to hire. And if you're someone that's just in the online space and you're following entrepreneurs, you're following people who are chasing their journey, people on their grind. They always post on their story, oh, okay, I'm hiring for this, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. You just need to look at what they're hiring and go, okay, cool, let me learn this skill. Okay, cool, let me learn this skill. Just pick one of the things that is a frequent post on these entrepreneurs or these gurus, because they're always posting. I guarantee you can follow after this podcast or after this video. Follow 20 entrepreneurs on Instagram who are doing e-com, retail, real estate, sales. And I guarantee you in the next month, one of them, minimum, is going to post a job offering about looking for someone to do this. And those are the skills you guys want to be learning, want to be building, because that is how you will make money online. Because there are so many people out in the world right now recruiting and hiring because their growth is insane because of social media.
Thanks. I think the easy can sound a bit cliche though.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like oversold in the online business world that it's easy.
Yeah.
But I think that people read that it's easy and think that you can just show up for like, a couple of weeks, a month, buy some course and just have their like path to success rooted. Whereas I think what easy actually means is like, 6 months, bro, and you'll be good. Or like a year, 6 months to a year, and you might actually make some progress. People just think that easy means it's super duper short term, but I think that what it really means is like 6 months. And to be working online and bringing bread in within 6 months, that is easy because it's quick, bro.
Facts.
6 months is a short period of time, but people don't see it at that scale, so people tap out after 2 months of trying something new.
Yeah.
I agree. I want to take this on not a different tangent completely, but something came to my head and that's why I typed it on ChatGPT. Online money is very new because if you talk to any parents or the older generation, right, they don't understand it too much. It's a new thing that came around. It made me think, when was the time when it really started to boom? COVID, right? Everyone was locked away. That's when it started businesses realised, oh wait, the work that was being done in offices can actually be done online. And that's just not new businesses like we're talking about there. That's even older businesses. You saw like with X, 12, a lot of businesses realise that actually people don't need to be in offices, they can work online. Same sort of game, right? It's just different business models. And there's some cool stats here of like small businesses in the United States. This was after COVID. Approximately 41% of small businesses transitioned to online during the pandemic. Similarly, 49% increased their social media presence and 63% altered how they serve customers to adapt the new digital demands. So it kind of shows you that we're in a really cool era of like, you're not catching something when it's like late and already ingrained into society. This is kind of a boom, if that makes sense, right now. And if you catch this now, see what you were saying of like, it's easy to earn money online. It doesn't mean it's a quick fix. No, this is just on a trajectory. That's all it's doing. This is just on a way up. And the reason a lot of people like, online money, like they're not too common with it, is because it is still fairly new. That is the cool thing about it. And it's only just going to get bigger and bigger. I mean, AI is kind of fucking proving that as well, right? It's only just going to get bigger and bigger. So that's something that I think is really cool and a big reason why you should get into the online space, for sure. So the question is, going back to the main one, how to earn that first £100, $1.
I think one of the good things to cover, bro, is, and I think this is one of the things that a lot of people always struggle with when they start in their first business or something like that. And I think we've seen it recently in our own lives, is like when they start their first business, they have no proof that they can do the stuff that they say they're going to do. So bad people just lie. And they tell like a bit of a story about the stuff they've done, testimonials they've got. But how does someone go from zero to getting proof that the thing they want to do works, to then actually making money with that? Whether it's a business, whether it's sales, a skill. Not many people are going to employ you as a sales agent unless you get lucky or know someone without evidence that you've done sales before. Right. Like when Bobby employed me at Jack Egan's a few years back, and I think even then I come to you and I said, I've got experience, like hire me.
Yeah.
I think you took people on who didn't have much experience, but
yeah. To be fair, most of the people that I've worked with, I just taught them from scratch.
Yeah, but I think that's something that if you have a bit of experience, you get a massive out because then the people who join at the same time as me with no experience, they're gone, bro. You know, so I think that figuring out A to B is like, how do you get proof of the skill that you're currently building out, testimonials, and do that from scratch. I don't know what your guys' opinions on that.
Free work.
Free work.
And that's what a lot of people are too afraid to do, is work for free. We teach it to our people in Growth Block. We had someone join the other day, and the first message he said to me is, I'm working through the course. I was like, great. And then he was just like, so when I get in, what base salary should I be charging? I went, whoa. I said, hold up a sec. I said, like I said on DM, this isn't a get rich quick scheme, right? This isn't fast money. This is the skills that you're learning that's going to set you up for life. But in order to master that skill, you most likely will have to offer free work, because hey, that's the best way to master a skill. And I think that's what a lot of people are too afraid to do, is actually offer for free. Because
too egoed.
Or too egoed.
And people are like, oh, I can, I had a conversation with my brother a lot, he wouldn't mind me talking about it, where I'm like, dude, you gotta just put yourself out there and do stuff for free, and like be willing to do extra than the person who's getting paid the same amount as you doing that same thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how you get that first leg up, and you just gotta outwork that person in front of you.
Yeah. Going back to what you were saying about that proof of concept, and just understanding that, I think the easiest way to do it is just what someone else did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many people on YouTube, Instagram, social media are doing exactly what you would want to do. And if they can do it, there is literally no reason why you couldn't. And they tell you that, and of course they might sell you a course as well, but before they sell you the course, they always show you how they did it. And then they're giving you like a guide to be like, oh, cool, I can help you do it. But they're showing you day by day, every step that these guys, if they're buying the cars, they're going on these holidays, and they're doing all of this shit. They literally did it. They made it happen. So that is all the proof of concept that you need. And like, there's books out there. It doesn't even have to be social media. You can read a book about someone going from 0 to 100 million from literally just looking in, pursuing a skill, pursuing just a career. And there's so much testimonial and there's so much proof. So if you don't look at that and actually take that in, you're only just limiting your own success, because you don't need to be babied or like put on a plate for you. You need to be able to see someone do it. All right, cool, I can do it. I feel like it's like a kid. When you see someone walk, what happens? The kid tries to walk. So that's how I got into my position. Well, I saw people making money online. I saw people living a life that I wanted to live. How do I do it? Okay, I'm going to do that. And I think that's just the easiest way to do it. Just copy, essentially. And then going back to what I'm saying, it's a reframe. You see what someone's doing and make it your own. Like the way we started Top Closers. In America, there's a large amount of people who were doing the agency stuff, and that's what, there's some people in the UK, but we just saw it a lot in America. And then we were like, well, who's doing that in the UK? Not anyone that we know. So we decided to build it. And luckily we had the connections, but we just copied the business model, made it our own, added our flair to it, added our brand, added our character. Now we have people who want to work with us because of who we are and what we do. We get the results. But none of this would have happened if I didn't see someone else doing it and wanted to recreate.
I agree. I actually don't think when we done it at the time as well, there wasn't many people doing what we do. There was people doing similar things, but the business model that we saw from America was quite unique compared to the UK. So again, we just made it our own, made it different to the market, and there was a gap for it. And I think that's why we saw great momentum at first as well. Because it was different, it was new, it was fresh, but at the same time, it wasn't genius. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, you have to come up with a genius idea. You really don't. You just have to adapt something that's already working. That's all you have to do. It's like we were talking about the other day of like the guy that came up with bifold doors was an idea of the guy who came up with the door at first. Like all he's done is just adapt it and made it his own. Like every idea came up of someone else's idea, they just adapted it and improved it. And someone would be like, oh, that's genius, you done that. Well, not really.
But you can, of course, make a genius idea, and if you do
that does happen.
Person, you will make a lot of money, but you don't have to start there. Typically, you make a genius idea after you build something, and you prove to yourself you can build, and then you kind of take it like that.
So step A, pick a skill, try a whole bunch of skills.
Yep.
B, do something for free.
Yep.
I guess, right?
I'd say the saying might be more what you said, put yourself out there. I think that's better, whether it's doing it for free or just like working for someone else or whatever, maybe just putting yourself out there and not being afraid to do it for free if that is the case.
Yeah. I think
then between that and the next step though is a whole bunch of like
There's a lot.
yeah, I think mainly like it's easier to just focus on
Actually,
like skills.
Here's something I'm going to say, and I think you lot are going to agree with this. I think once you've done that step, you found a skill, and you put time and effort into that skill. I think there is a common phase which a lot of people go through, which I've seen because we teach people as well, is then actually they start to get swayed online, seeing other people make more money off other skills, and they think, oh, am I in the wrong vehicle?
Okay.
I think that's a common trait that a lot of people have once they started to learn that skill and put themselves out there in that
Because
skill.
after 1 month
They don't see the money that
they were told it's easy.
Yeah.
Right? And so they think that in a month's time they'll have results.
All of a sudden they're buying 10k.
Easy kind of means like
Yeah.
6 months to a year, bro.
Yeah.
Get your head
I
down.
think that's the next level, in my opinion, of actually realizing that you've got to commit to that vehicle that you're in.
Okay. So I think we can go like this. So like step A, you can like see what other people are doing to make money. B, pick the skill that you want to use.
Yeah.
And then number 3 was
Commit to that skill, and actually do stuff for free if need be.
okay, do stuff for free. And then the next one would be become obsessed with it. That skill. Actually lock in and give it the time it needs to see true results. Don't be flaky, dip your toes in and out.
Get feedback, learn from others.
Yeah.
Adapt.
Get rejection, feel pain. This is a big part. You have to feel pain. You have to feel like, am I a shit at this? Like, is this not working? Am I going to be able to do this? Like, you need to have those questions. If you're trying to learn something and you don't question yourself in the mirror, be like, fuck, like, I need to step the fuck up. I need to boss up. If you don't have those moments, you're not in the right thing. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're just going to coast and you're going to, 6 months down the line, you might stick with it, but you're going to be like, I feel like I'm learning a bit, but I'm not doing anything here. Like, if you really want to learn something that you could become great at and monetize and build a business and make money from it, not just, change, but like money, you need to go through that pain, go through that obstacles, and that is an essential part of the process, is go through pain.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you feel like you went through one of those?
Last one went through pain. Yes, I think I would say probably when I was running Jag Vegan's sales team, and then I was running the team for 2 years, and then the 3rd year, the CEO wanted to make some changes, have a new team come in, and the new team that came in, the guy said to me, he was like, basically said, I'm taking your job, you're being demoted, like, you just weren't good enough, essentially, in the terms that he was talking to me, in like the tonality and the vibe and the energy. So I was like, okay, cool, I needed that, because at the end of the day, when you're head of sales for 2 years, and the way that business structure was at the time, it's very relaxed. I didn't have anyone who was really, looking over me or checking me. I was just doing my thing, like I was doing what I felt was right, and I had free reign to just do whatever. So in that position, you're not getting checked. You're not getting that push. Of course, I'm pushing myself, but we all work better with accountability. So when that moment came, I was like, all right, cool. That's the pain I needed, because I either just go in the corner and be like, what the fuck, that wasn't nice, and let that take my mind away from what's important, or I boss up and be like, cool, let me prove what I'm gonna do is right, and I'll show you. And that's exactly what I did. That pushed me to go harder in top closes. And then a couple months later, the same guy who said I was demoted and pushed me out tried to basically invest in top closes, invest in the business. So without him pushing me, that may have never have transpired in the time frame. So that was a good pain moment for me, that I was able to boss up for sure. What about you?
Moment of pain, bro. There's a lot that come to mind where they kind of inspire you and push you forward. To be fair, some of my big ones is that in the way that I'm set up at the moment, I'm a contractor for businesses, and it means that you're never fully employed, right? You can get dropped, and I basically just have one big client for the most part, and then stuff that comes on and off. And you have these moments where you realize, like, they could drop you in a second, bro. You don't fully control those outcomes, which I think, similar to you, it sparks that fuel where you're like, yeah, I'm building my own thing at the moment. I've got to get this off the ground, so that I control my own paycheck more than I already do. And so that's a small example of pain, but there's a lot more.
But that's like a big mental pain, though. It's important to be in a position, right, where I could be fired tomorrow. Because if you could be fired tomorrow, what would you do today? You give 100%. And that's the mentality I would sometimes check myself with when I was working at the head of sales, or just even as being a closer. I was like, if I lost this company, like you said, I basically had one really big contract, what would happen? I was like, shit, I don't have a plan B at that time. So at that time, I didn't have a plan B. You just have to be the best. Like, there has to be no doubt that this person will find me, because they can find me, because you're too much of an asset to be fired. So because that's the mental pain, because it's like shit. Like, there's nothing's guaranteed. Like, nothing's guaranteed. Like, you're manufacturing like a tough environment in your mind, which forces you to go win.
I like that. I'm trying to think of one, I can't lie. I'm trying to think of
Pretty boy has no pain.
Not no pain, but like
force in the fire.
not no pain.
I think it's just like moments that you've stuck through something that was like on that journey, right? ABC, and then we're going through it.
So on my journey, or my personal journey in sales anyway, there's always highs and lows in sales. Every day you can have like the best day in the world, and all of a sudden the next day can be the shittest day, and it all just comes back to like mindset. Like, bro, like, it was even like 3 weeks ago, I even messaged Bob, took like 3 sales calls and none of them closed. I messaged Bob like, fuck, I haven't done this in a while, but I'm questioning my sales ability. And I even messaged Bob like, shit, 3 back-to-back calls and I didn't close them. And it's been a while since that's happened, that's why. And I was a bit like, damn, Bob, what's going on? Shit. And I even remember it's been a while since I felt that, since like JV days when me and you were going off back to back. And I was like, questioning myself. And all of a sudden I was like, nah, come on, man. Took another sales call, 2.2k PIF collected. I was like, nah, I'm good, man. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, it's mindset. But also on the flip side, I think not so much pain, but see what you were saying there about how I can be dropped any time. I was thinking about that, what you're saying there in my perspective. Right now anyway, which is really fortunate, we don't have anyone above us, if that makes sense. But then I was actually more thinking, no, I don't have anyone above me, but I have people below who are working with me on my business together. And like, I rely on them just as much as they rely on me. And it's sort of like, I want them to pull their weight for me, and they want me to pull their weight for them as well. So that's sort of like a pressure in itself of like, okay, cool, I'm asking, Timmy, yo, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, I need you to do this. But in return, I need to do what I need to do for him as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's a different type of pressure in that sense.
Sure. So let's recap so far again, just to keep it going. So look what other people are doing online to make money. Pick a skill, do work for free, become obsessed, go through pain, and out of all those 5 things, something that you're always doing throughout the whole process is attracting, manifesting, and believing, and having belief in yourself that you're going to make it happen. Because without that, you can try and do all of this stuff, you're not going to win, you're not going to make it happen, you're just going to hit an obstacle and be a bitch and quit. That's just how it is. Because if you don't have belief in yourself, you're basically just strolling around the world and just being a placeholder. You're not really bringing any value to the human life or the world, or just to your family, to your friends, your siblings. You're just not doing nothing, honestly. That's how I feel about humans in life. If you have no inner belief, you're just missing one of the key parts of being a human. That's what separates us from animals and all these other things, that we can believe in ourselves and we can become something so great that you wouldn't even realize from 5-10 years because power or belief. So that is something that you need to have throughout the full 5 processes so far, and just in everything that you do. When you wake up, when you go to sleep, just believe in yourself, because without that, I promise you guys, you're not going to have any hope.
I think it also comes before. I always taught to people that the first step towards any of it, and I made a thing about making money online, is solving the problems in your life.
Yeah.
Right? So like, you might be overweight, you might be addicted to something you shouldn't be addicted to, you might be going out clubbing or surrounded by bad people. You can't start to watch other people and want to replicate their things and then pursue it without solving the problems of like your environment, the place you live, whether your room's like a crap, just like horror, right? So you've got to fix a lot of the problems that are actually present in your life to go through those steps and succeed in those steps.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just set yourself up to like pursue it a little bit, fall off because your mindset wasn't there. So I think before you do a lot of this stuff, and for me, like that solving the problems in my life phase felt like it was 6 months to a year, where I was just like, avoiding doing the stuff that most degenerate university students do. I mean, like that was my thing. It's like, how do I get out of this cycle of going to clubs and just being a DJ and just like escape that and pursue the good things and not lying in the morning and waking up early and grinding. So I think that it comes throughout, but also like thinking about that early, that's where everyone's journey starts.
Yeah, I think we could probably go back to the steps then.
Put that as number 1. That's a valid point.
And then at the end of this video, we'll have like all the steps.
Maybe.
You got the edit for that.
I'll just put like the description or some shit. Right now, you're just listening to our minds speak. But so how do we describe that one?
I'd say solving the problems.
Solving your own problems.
Solving your problems in your life. And I think after that, then we can even pick like your why. Like because
why you're actually trying to do this, bro.
Yeah, because without that why, it becomes harder. It's like the reason why a lot of people who are born rich don't do anything, because they don't find that why. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're well off and your parents or a trust fund baby or whatever, this still applies to you. No one's going to look at you less for making more money or taking your family's name and taking it even bigger. That should be another goal. That is a great reason why. And if you're broke and your family's broken and you don't know what you need to do, that's a great reason why. Everyone's why is great. It doesn't matter where you start, just pick a why and make that an important reason that gets you off the couch or gets you in the fucking gym, gets you wherever you need to be to get to your desired place.
So how do we wrap up the end one? What was our last point? Circling back around to the end now. So our last one that we touched on was be obsessed, and then there was one after that, pain. So just to touch on it. 7 now. Just to touch on it, we'll make 8. We'll round off on 8. I think 8's the perfect number. Just to touch on, before we touch on 8, pain is always going to be there. That's just fact. Doesn't matter how far you are, that pain's always going to be there.
But the step we're saying is find it.
Exactly.
Find the pain.
Exactly. So then, let's say you found the pain, you've overcome the pain, and you're going on this journey now. What's the final step that we'd say?
Find more pain.
You always find more pain.
Honestly, you have to find pain, otherwise you'll get comfortable. But last step would be of finding the pain is...
Do you know what I'd say? Actually, I'm going to put it like this. I do think it's a big thing of surrounding yourself with the right people as well. Is the final step. Because let's say you've learned this skill, right? You've mastered this skill, you've become obsessed, you've gone through pain with this skill. If you can find the right people before all these steps, great, that's even better. But if you've done all of this by yourself, right, you've mastered this skill, you've gone through the pain, you've really put yourself out there and you're starting to see some momentum, start to find like-minded people, because there's many benefits of it, many opportunities of it, and it just makes the journey a whole lot funner.
Yeah,
it makes the journey a whole lot funner when you actually do it with people, like-minded people. So that would be my final one. Is
we can only give a bonus final one. I'll go and then you can think of the last one. I would say just make yourself proud and the people who believe in you. There's nothing better, I promise you, than making someone who invested time, money, energy into you and making them proud and actually showing them that like all the effort that they put in, all the trust that they gave you was fucking worth it. That feeling is I can't even, no words can describe it. It's just a genuine feeling inside that you have, and you can, whatever happens in your life, you know that person that you helped out, that person that you gave everything, they will listen to you. They will try and help you out if they can, but they will be there in your life because you gave them 100%. Don't give people 50, 40. If you're going to do that, just don't do it at all. Like, truly give everyone that you encounter that's going to employ you, work with you, give them 100% because those relationships and the people that you meet, people that give you trust, can truly change your life.
I like that.
My bonus step is do it all again. And I say that because I think that everyone will think the route to easy money is quick, and I think that it comes over a very, and so to think of this trajectory as 8 steps over a short period of time. I think you do these steps over and over again because you might get to the end of it and nothing worked.
Facts.
So guess what? Solve your problems again in your life. Figure out what your why is, maybe it's different.
Yeah.
And even for like you guys and me, right? You're at a point where your business is going well. You're like, okay, what's next? Let's go back. What problems do we need to solve to get to this next point? What's the new why? Maybe the why changes a little bit. Get obsessed again, solve more problems, find more pain. Yeah. So I think part of it is just like
you're repeating the cycle a lot of the time.
The cycle.
I agree because we're sort of experiencing. Yeah, that's a bar. We're experiencing that now. It's like we've had to take a step back and be like, we've hit a cap. Right, cool. How do we actually get to the next step? Oh shit, we're kind of repurposing our why now. Oh shit, we're actually going back and learning skills now, different skills, right? So yeah, I like that. Recycle. Yeah.
So this video, this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? What we just explained to you is like, or repeat this video as many times as possible. You come back to my YouTube channel and you're like, what do I need to do? Watch this video. This is the one that gets you thinking about the whole journey from start to finish. Well, it's not really finished, but it's a journey that this will remind you what to do. So that was a good fucking video, boys.
Hey, you don't have to listen to us. We're just some random guys.
Just some boys from London and fucking
just chilling, bro.
Nuts.
Just some guys.
We're just chilling in Spain. Crazy.